And let's bring in Tim Taylor, an internationally recognized and award-winning ocean explorer, advocate, and founder of Tiburon Subsea. He's also joined by Colonel Terry Virts, a former U.S. Air Force test fighter pilot and also a NASA veteran. Good morning to both of you. I'm sorry that we're chatting under these circumstances. Terry, I'd like to begin with you. You led an international flight crew to the North Pole back in 2019. With billionaire adventurer Hamish Harding, who is on board, one of the 5 passengers here on this exploration sub. What can you tell us about him? And did you talk to him at all before this expedition?
Well, Hamish is the quintessential British explorer. He loves adventure. He's a pilot. We both share a love for space, which is where we met about 6 or 7 years ago. So we did this mission called One More Orbit. It was his idea. And I actually directed a documentary about it. We set a world record flying over the North and South Pole, the documentary One More Orbit. And so that was one of many things that he's done over the years. He's been to the South Pole, been to the deepest part of the ocean. And I can imagine if Hamish were around a few centuries ago, he would have been sailing the seas, exploring. That's just the kind of person that he was.
He would be, Hamish would be in our history books, I'm certain. And one more question for you, Terry. Hamish posted to Instagram that the area off the coast of Canada where this exploration started experienced the worst winter in 40 years, and a weather window had opened up, so they were going to attempt to dive. What are the odds that this sub disappearing could be attributed to bad weather?
I don't think it was weather. He texted me just before he went, underwater in the sub. I think the weather doesn't really affect you when you're 3,800 meters or over 12,000 feet down. If once they surface, that could be an issue, because I saw a video from the boat on location yesterday. It was very foggy, so it could be hard to see. The good news is the aircraft that are there on station and the surface vessels have radar, so there's a big metal thing floating in the water. They should be able to find it with radar.
Yeah. Gosh, I just can't even imagine what they're going through, and we're praying for a happy ending. Tim, let's pivot to you. You spent 30 years in the marine industry and are an expert in diving technologies. And you actually said on our NewsNation airwaves yesterday that this mission is akin to climbing Everest, that passengers know there's an inherent risk that comes along with it. How long can they safely stay underwater until this becomes life-threatening?
Well, based on their website and based on standards for tourist submersibles, they should have 96 hours of life support for all people on board. So it's 5 people, 96 hours worth of life support. That could be plus or minus based on how they consume the resources, obviously.
Yeah, and take us through, Tim, what you think they're going through right now. If they are still alive, how do you think they're best using this time right now to stay calm, to stay alive? I mean, what should they be doing?
Yeah, this is a drama, but I would imagine if they are still alive, if they're still intact, they are waiting. It's going to be cold down there. If they lost power and they lost all their systems, they're going to lose their heat as well. It's going to be a very cold, dark environment. And what cell phones they had or what batteries they had on handheld lights of that nature, they have to last 5 days or 4 days. So it's going to be a very, I guess, cold, dark, and lonely place.
It makes you, it makes you claustrophobic just thinking about it for them. Terry, what does a crew do when it loses contact? With its support team, or in this case, its support vessel? How does it get back on track?
Well, I think the best thing for them to do is to rest and not breathe as much oxygen or create as much carbon dioxide as possible. Another thing they could do is bang on the wall with a wrench. The way you communicate underwater is not with radio, but it's with sound. And so that banging noise would be picked up by sonar, especially as these ROVs, these kind of underwater drones get there. They should be able to hear banging. So if they certainly understand that, so they're probably doing that. And then they know that people are going to come from them, and they know it's going to take time. The first vessels just arrived there on site this morning to send down the ROVs to look for them. So they know that they just have to wait. And as we just heard, there's no light at all down there, and the water temperature is right at freezing. So It's going to get cold and dark pretty quickly, but they know that we're coming after them.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.